Now let's look at commission. Now, commission is usually quoted as a percentage of the value of goods sold. So maybe if you're an assistant working at like an electricity shop or selling some appliances, you may, depending on how much amount of sales you may get an extra commission. So you may get 20% of the total sales, 30% of the total sales, that depends on the company. But that's the idea of commission, getting a percentage of the number of sales. That's pretty much it. Now, a small retainer, there's a thing called a retainer or basic weekly wage may also be paid. Basically, they might give you $200 plus 5% of the number of sales. Just in case you might not get any sales, you still get a particular retainer or weekly wage for working, for the amount of work you put in. So it's something plus the commission that you get. Okay, that's the retainer. Now, the greater the value of goods sold, the greater the income is paid for that period. The more sales you make, the more commission you will get as well. So that's the idea of this commission, okay? So the more you make, the more you get as well. This encourages workers to make good assistance in selling goods to customers. They don't waste their time just walking around in the shop. Owners and bosses, they want you to put in a lot of effort in making good amount of sales. So that's why this kind of commission encourages those sales assistants to do that. Okay, so that's the idea of commission. Let's try the questions. Question 16. Sarah is paid a commission of 20% on the value of her sales. Find her total pay when she sells $55,000. So this is the amount of sales. She simply gets 20% of that as her commission. So we simply have to multiply those together. So 0.2 is simply 20% as a decimal, or you can simply put 20% in your calculator straight away. And that will get you something like this. So that's how much she gets as her commission. Jess is paid a commission of 15% on the value of her sales in excess of $20,000. Find her total pay when she receives $78,000. So in this one, it's a bit different because she doesn't get 15% of whatever sales she makes. She only gets 15% of anything that exceeds of $20,000. So anything over that, she gets the 15% commission. So she gets this much. She makes this much sales. How much in excess of $20,000 is this? We'll have to find the difference. I simply do 78,000 minus the 20,000 and then multiply that by 15%, which will get you this. Okay, so that's what means by excess. Okay, so anything that goes over. All right. Tina is paid a weekly retainer of $200 plus a commission of 10% on the value of her sales. Find her total pay if she sells $76,000. Okay, this is where the retainer comes about. See how she gets a little weekly retainer of $200? So no matter what her sales she makes, no matter the number of sales she makes, she will get $200 no matter what per week. If she makes more sales, she gets 10% of the amount of sales she makes on top of that retainer. We simply do 200 times 10% of the number of sales, which would equal to something like this. Make sure you can double check your calculation as well. Christy is paid a weekly retainer of $350 plus a commission of 6% on the value of her sales in excess of $50,000. Find her total pay when she sells $62,000. So her weekly retainer is $350. She gets that no matter what. And she also gets 6% of her value of sales in excess of $50,000. So how much more she makes than $50,000, she gets 6% of. If she makes this much sales, how much more is that than that? We just simply need to find the difference. We need to subtract that from that. Of that, we multiply by 6%. So I'll show you. So we get $350 no matter what. And then on top of that, the difference of $50,000 and $62,000, we get the 6%. And then just add them up. Be very careful. That's what you should get. So again, please double check you get that. Jenny is paid a commission of 12% on the value of her sales. Find how much she needs to make sales in order to earn $5,580. So this is her commission. She gets 12% on the value of all her sales. We want to know how much she needs to make to earn that much. So how much sales does she have to make to get 5,580? Divide it by the 12%, which will get you the amount, and that's the amount, $46,500. So that's the amount of sales she needs to make in order to achieve that much amount, that much commission. 21. Kim is paid a commission of 16% on the value of her sales in excess of $30,000. Now, find how much she needs to make sales in order to earn $2,500. We get 16% of anything that goes over $30,000. So how much sales does she have to make in total to receive $2,500? See how X is the amount, the pronumeral that I'm going to let Tim be to represent the number of total sales she makes. Now, the reason why I'm subtracting 30,000, all of you should know, because anything that's above 30,000, we get the commission, 16%. So I need to find the difference between the total sales and 30,000. And of that, we multiply by 16%. And we want that to be equal to 2,500. So now we simply need to use our algebra skills to find X. So first of all, see how we're multiplying by 16%? Move that over to the other side by dividing by 16%. So I'm going to divide 2,500 by 16%. And then that should get you something like this. So just calculate this for me first. And then we just want X. So move your 30,000 over to the other side by adding, and like that, calculate it, you should get this. So this is the total number of sales she needs to make in order to earn this much. Tony is paid a weekly retainer of $200 plus a commission of 8% on the value of all her sales. Find how much she needs to make sales in order to earn $3,000. Okay, so she gets a retainer plus 8% of whatever her sales she makes. So we need to find how much sales she needs to make in order to achieve this much money. Well, again, I'm going to let X be the number of sales. We multiply the X by 8% because that's the commission rate. And on top of that, we get $200 as our retainer. And we want that to be equal to $3,000. So again, achieve some algebra, calculate X. So first of all, I'm going to move my 200 over to the other side by subtracting, which will equal to this. And then see how we're multiplying by 8%? Now divide by 8% to put it over to this side to get X. And then that should calculate to $35,000. So that's the amount of sales she needs to make in order to get herself $3,000. That is the answer. Okay, so again, a bit of algebra involved. Cherry is paid a weekly retainer of $300 plus a commission of 12% on the value of her sales in excess of $23,000. Find how much she needs to make sales in order to earn $3,000. She only gets 12% of whatever is in excess of $23,000. Again, I'm going to call X be my total number of sales, but we only get 12% of what's over $23,000. We do X minus $23,000 to find the excess. We multiply that by 12% because that's our commission. And remember, we also get a retainer, so we add 300 to that, and we want that to equal to $3,000. She wants to earn $3,000 in total. First of all, I'm going to move my 300 over to the other side by subtracting. Calculate that. That should be what you get. See how we're multiplying by 0.12 or 12%? Now we're going to divide by 12%, which would get you this. X minus 23,000 is this, so let's get rid of this by moving it over to the other side by adding, like this. And add them up, guys. That is your value of X, which is the total number of sales she needs to make. Okay, so that's the answer. That will get you her earning of $3,000. 24. Tim sold goods to the value of $6,500. His pay was $430, which comprised a retainer, so he got some retainer, plus a commission of 5% of his sales. Find the amount of his retainer. So this time, they give you the number of sales. She gives you the total amount of the sales that Tim makes. And they also give us the commission, and they also give us the value he earns. But the only thing he doesn't give us is the value of the retainer. So that's what we need to find. Let's do it. Let's call X be the retainer this time. First of all, to calculate the commission, 6,500 times 5%. Okay, because that's the commission. That's easy to find. We simply multiply the sales by the commission rate. That's your commission. The retainer would simply be 430 minus 325. So you could call that bx, or you don't really need to use algebra, I guess, but you can call that bx if you like, or simply just use the retainer by subtracting. So 430 minus this, whatever's the difference, must be the retainer, because retainer plus the commission must equal to this. So retainer x plus the commission is equal to the amount that he earns. So that's why we're subtracting, and then you get that. And that is the amount of the small retainer that he gets on top of his commission.